Hit my record. All right. Happy Wednesday. I'm all caffeinated, ready to go. Who's out there?
Andy's here.
Hello.
Jenny's
We've
here.
got the Miss Daniela today with us,
Guys.
Queen of Underwriting, all things dispo. Um, Daniela, did you make it to that investor base? I think it might have been today. Hopefully, I'll get the recording. I was not able to make it to that one. Anyways, we are going to be bringing, I think Andy has a deal. I think Jenny, you probably have a deal. Kyle, you probably are moving and shaking over there, going to learning about the sales process. John Martinez, tactical empathy. Hopefully we get more contracts to underwrite. Sean Driscoll, still with the old school keyboard, but he's calculating some deals. Look, y'all, it's Wednesday. I hope Chase text everybody. Let me make sure that she texts everybody because I want to make sure we're getting.
I got a text.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got it too.
All right, all right. So you know the drill, y'all. Just put the address down first. Andy, we could start with you. I know you got some address for a deal, or if you're not, then you can talk about what it is that you're trying to underwrite here. Don't go all at once. Here we go. What city is this in?
Lancaster.
Um, okay. What is the plan is buy and hold, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's not my ideal part of town, but it's not. It's good enough.
Good enough. Okay.
I drove by it this morning. I'm still trying to get in touch with the actual owner. I talked to the fiance yesterday. Um, I feel like he was kind of holding back on me a little bit on giving up too much info. Wouldn't give her number to me. It was a deal through property leads. Um, but supposedly she's supposed to call me tonight. I guess she was going to be tied up last night and all day today. But if I haven't heard from her by probably 5 o'clock, I'm going to start hammering him again. I already texted him this morning and he said that she was going to call me tonight.
Okay. Who's the decision maker on title? Her?
Her
Good. And then is it you said husband?
fiance.
Okay, fiance.
She lived in this house. Um, and when they got together, after they'd been together for a while, she ended up moving in with him, and they have family living here. Doesn't sound like there's a lease, but he one at first he told me there was a lease. Then he told me that they're getting a lease signed to protect the people that are living there. So that they can't just be given the boot. They were going to do like a 5 month lease on it, which I don't like, obviously, but for buy and hold, I guess that's not it's not the end of the world. It's not like I'm looking to wholesale this thing and if it comes with a renter that I got to deal with for 5 months,
It's okay, right?
yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's see what's going on in this market here. It's a pretty hot market here, huh? All
Yeah,
right.
and when I ran my comps, I kind of ran south of what you see Memorial Drive there, um, all the way over to Boving Road is yeah, that neighborhood kind of in that cluster south of the lake, south of Memorial Drive, and then down to where you see where it says Hamburg Road Southwest. That's kind of the
This the direction that you're running comps right here?
yeah. And I kind of stayed the other side of Memorial, um, because once you get up into Broad Street and Lincoln Avenue, it's a little bit different neighborhood.
Okay, and you have a 3-1
Yep.
806 square feet. It looks small for 800. Well, it looks bigger than 806 square feet.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But when you drive by I mean, it's
Pretty small.
yeah,
Their garage.
no. And AC's in up. He says it needs $1,200 in new shingles. Looking at it, it needs a roof.
Okay, is there an active leak?
Yes.
Okay. So smaller roof, so okay. All right. So what's the whereabouts are we looking for an ask? Did he give you a number or she, I'm sorry?
Well, he says they talked to a realtor. Realtor told them 160 if they fix the things that are wrong with it. And, obviously that's not what we're looking for, but, uh, sounds like they owe, he told me 70. Deal Machine says it's like 63, but again, that could be bad data.
Okay. All right. So did he say, hey, the realtor said this, and so that's what they're looking to get, or
No,
did
he understands that it's going to be less than that.
okay,
Uh, that's what he put on the lead when he submitted it to whatever source property leads got it from. But
sure. Um, so here's one with the exact same freaking bedroom and
mhm.
square footage that just dropped in price for 6,600, 152 days, for 159.9. So whoever that realtor was saying, like, hey, you could probably get that. I don't know about that, but it's okay. You're gonna get that time to time, just their opinions of what they can sell it for, what the reality of it is. The condition that needs a roof. Is there anything else that needs to be done in the property that you know of from your conversation?
Driving around back, I mean, out back's kind of overgrown, but that's
Any more interior? Like, does it need painted? Does it look like these photos? No?
he hasn't been in the house for 2 years. So
Okay.
whoever's
So that's
living there, it sounds like I think it's his. He said it's his stepson's in-laws. So I'm
okay.
guessing it's her son's uh in-laws.
Mm-hmm. All right. So you're trying to figure out what to offer this guy, correct?
Yep. I kind of have, I mean, following our formula, uh
Mm-hmm.
kind of have an idea. I think my ARV's close.
And what is that?
I
What do you
think
think?
I think I think rehabbed it's 160, 165.
Okay. And did you look at it or did you just, is it a guesstimate? Is it just like like a guess for the one?
That's an estimated guess. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
roof AC and if I'm gonna, turn it into a rental, I'm still gonna rehab it and make it,
Okay. All
what
right.
I basically like your guys' boilerplate turn. Like, putting new painting the cabinets, putting new flooring in. That way it's really turnkey from there. Anytime I have to turn it, it should be minimal investment.
Sure. Well, let's look at what's sold over here. That's a
There was
3-1. So, that's a 3-3. What's this? 3-2. Did I put exact match? Yes, I did. Let's do square footage of that to max 1,000. Apply. Okay, so we got this one here. 3-1, 990. Okay, so 997 in square feet. Let's look at the rehab here. Um, nice home, not updated, but looked like they kept it in pretty good condition. So that is one comp. Let's see if there's anything else close by.
one that I looked at was 1033 Second Street. It sold for 180. It's a 2-1. It's a few hundred more square feet though.
Whereabouts, what was that again?
1033 Second Street was another
Oh,
was a
3-3. I'm gonna look at how long it was on the market for. All right, so October, October, and it stayed on the market until February because he put it on the market right in the middle of winter. It was a price change in December and then 179. Okay. All right. So you looked at this. You've got like a two-story though, right?
Yeah.
Um, oh man, what was your 81810, right? Fourth Street. Yeah, this is like a two-story, huh?
Mhm.
Okay, so this one, not really updated kitchen, lived in basement, looks like. Do you know if there's a basement on yours?
I do not actually. I had not gotten that far. Today's been kind of a whirlwind at work, so
So it's super important to, and I'm just speaking out loud here, just get all of the information from the inside and ask some questions. I'm like, hey, do you know if the flooring has been updated or know anything that the tenants have done inside to the house that updated it to 2025 standards?
right.
And if it's not, then you know there's at least cosmetic rehab going on in the property. So we're probably, like looking at anywhere from 30 to 40K just on in the interior. And you have a smaller house, so maybe it could be 30K. Bigger houses, maybe 40 to 45. Just giving you some rough estimates here, but it's good to know like all the details to that we can help you as much as possible. So this is 179.9. It took about 3 months to really sell this thing and get that price, but it did sell. Um, in relation to, I don't even, where is that located? Right here,
Few streets
really
over,
close.
yeah.
And you have
That
comments
little
from 32, not updated. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that little cluster from Hubert down what three streets and on the east side of Hamburg Road, that's kind of that neighborhood is very similar through and through. Once you go to the other side of Broad Street, it's a little rougher. Um,
So you're talking like this is the same area right here.
yeah, so see that main street that goes down through there where it says 132 on the right hand side of that of Broad Street. That is that neighborhood is different than the one across from Broad Street on the other side of Broad Street. So
Okay. And you're saying it's different, just a different housing stock, different neighborhood. So it's a higher end neighborhood, lower end neighborhood.
it's probably a lower end neighborhood,
This one
but
has a bath and it's sold for 199.
but
Yeah. This one 205. I don't even know where this is at. How big is your lot?
he says it's a bigger lot, but it's yeah, it's not.
It's pretty small. I mean,
The
it's
houses in that street are very jammed in. That is a big lot for that street, but it's still a small lot.
see how big this lot was. Yeah, small lot. Okay. Um, are the houses over here completely different?
Yeah, once you get over toward Boving Road, it's they're nicer houses over there.
Yeah. They don't look as nice, but I'll take your word for it. This one sold for 168.5. Now this one has some nice flooring, some nice cabinets, even got granite. You got on the low end, outdated 130, high end oh no, that one was just lived in, the one that you found on second for 179. Um,
The one thing that it says Memorial Drive right there, but that what's in this house's backyard is Route 33. So it is close to the highway.
Oh, I see. This right here, you saying?
Yeah,
Can you hear the highway?
I'm sure you can.
It's pretty loud, huh? I
It's
don't,
more.
I don't, I think 160, 170 is a little bit aggressive over there. Just based on what I can see, you're probably landing around like 150, 155 conservatively. Um, and you can't see inside here. I wonder why. Really small lot, built in the same. You got that 130, well, 90. All right. If they're like, well, a realtor told me that it's 160, I would just ask them like, so what would it if we could close at your timeline, help you get the family members out of there, and um, basically don't you don't have to worry about anything and cleaning up. I'll even take care of it. When I say it's as is, you don't have to worry about anything. I take care of all of that for you. What would be the least you'd take to get this off your hands? You know,
Right.
get that number out of them. But I'm thinking here you've got a roof, you've got some cosmetic. I'm thinking every bit of 40 to 45K in rehab to make it look nice and hit that 150 mark. You don't
Thank
know.
you.
What was that?
I don't know who that was.
Hmm. Um, that's kind of what I'm seeing. Let me see what the rents are. Hey, Daniela, what are you seeing on your end?
I think 160 best case scenario. Uh, if you really put the work and money into it and in a good market. Um, but what caught my attention was 3-1 houses are going for around 1700 in the area. Um, just like thinking that they're probably investor buy and hold properties. They're probably getting 1%. So that's why 160 could not be as crazy. But I do think your 150, 155 is more conservative, and I'd rather stay on the safe side.
I'm looking at the rents too. Thanks, Daniela. I looking at this too. I'm like looking at the ones for rent. There's not that many for rent, which is
Yeah, I mean, I've got a house or an apartment down the street. It's a duplex. Again, different neighborhood, but it's a downstairs duplex unit, 2 bedroom with a basement that I'm getting 1,400 on. So I got to think that I can.
you got 1,400. Is it three? How many bedrooms? How many baths?
Could be 3 bedrooms, but really it's two.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
but you
Broke
know,
Zill. All
it's,
right.
it's a different
Is
neighborhood.
there is there? Oh, it's a different neighborhood, way better than this one.
It's nicer than this one. But that being said, I mean, I would think that I could rent this all day long for in my head 1,700.
Mhm.
Oh, that's amazing. If you can. Okay.
Yeah, my tenant, her lease renewed at the end of next month, and she asked me in January if she could renew. She goes, I've looked around. She goes, I can't find anything, and she's a great tenant and pays her rent, and I re-upped her as soon as she inquired about redoing it in January. I said, yep, you're staying here.
The taxes aren't that bad either.
Um,
That's for the year. Now, it will go up a little bit when you refinance, but that's not that bad. Okay. Um, so about 98. What's your insurance over there? What's your insurance look like cost?
on the duplex, I'm paying, I think 13 or 1,400 for the year.
All right. I'm just gonna take 1,200. 100. And then you have it management subbed out?
No, I handle it myself.
How's that going? Good?
The leasing portion of it I actually enjoy. And I have a good friend who, and I think you guys have actually used him on it's Eagle Pro Solutions.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think yeah.
I'm pretty good friends with the owner. So when I have a maintenance issue, they just send an email. It comes to me. It gets automatically gets forwarded to him. So I really don't have to deal with too much on the maintenance side, and he takes care of me. So
Cool. Make this bigger. All right, so we're looking at 75% of that 150. Your all-in's about 112.5, minus your rehab. So I'm just saying 45. So you're 67,
right.
5 at the moment as rehab. So I would give yourself some buffer here. Now, I mean, it also depends on what they have a mortgage on it. What's their
Yeah.
mortgage out?
He told me they owe 70 or she owes 70. Um, but like I said, when I pulled it up in Deal Machine, I think Deal Machine said 63. But
63. Okay, so then, this you need to know what the rehab number really depends here. So if it's not 45, well, maybe it's 20,
right.
maybe it's 30, depending on how well they kept it. So I think this is the anomaly here. I mean, if you're getting 1,700, that's awesome over there.
Mhm.
Your taxes are low and your insurance are low, and then you're self-managing, so then you save whatever 6 or 8%, whatever it is. I think you're probably somewhere in this range for like an offer, maybe like 50 to 70. It really depends on how bad the rehab is. So I'd go in there, I'd try and inspect it. I would get at least a purchase contract. Now, if they're asking like 120, you're not, what are we doing? Like it's not going to be a good fit. But I think in this 50 to 70 ballpark, could work if they're willing to take it with just you paying out their mortgage and maybe a little bit for moving expenses. You might be in good shape.
Right.
You might be. It really
Right.
depends on how it looks like a 800 square foot house. You can probably get the roof done for 4 or 5K. At least that's what I can get him done
Yep.
for, labor and materials. And then it's a matter of you gotta I would how I would approach this is get with them, talk to them about what they're willing to, take this property for. Like, hey, look, if I can pay this off, get this out of your hands, and maybe help with a little bit of moving costs, is that something that you would consider? And if it's a yes, great. And if not, then let's look at other ways that we can monetize this,
Right.
which is the other route, which is getting it listed, doing a novation or a wholesale or something. Um, but I mean, what makes it a deal for me is this rent that you can get 1,700 for over there.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel pretty good about that number. It might be 16, but I'm
You're
getting, like I said, I'm getting 1,400 out of a downstairs duplex that's a 2-1. So
So your next step is to get them on the phone today. Do it now. Do it like when you have a break, and you know if get them that number. I know they want 160, but they're not going to get that unless they do the work, evict the tenant, whoever it is. It sounds like they're motivated because it might be a family member that they don't want to deal. We buy houses like that all the
well,
time.
you would think, but like he just said, he told me yesterday that they were going to do a 5-month lease, so that way whoever buys the house can't just throw them out because it's a handshake agreement what they've got now. And I said, dude, there's a price difference if it's occupied with a lease.
Yeah, those are the best ones we've gotten deals on, man. These
Yeah.
like handshake agreements, they don't want to do anything with it. Um, when are you having a convo? Today?
It's supposed to be tonight. I don't have her number. I've talked to him. He will not give me her number. He said, we'll call you when she gets off work tonight. I said, okay.
Okay, so I'm
I'm not
but
talking to the
she's
owner
the
about
one. Yeah, she's the one that has her name on the deed. Okay.
Correct.
So get her involved. Yeah, okay. All right. Do you have a good game plan? Let us know how this goes tonight, but do you have a good game plan on what to do now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like you got a good deal here, man. Just depends on this rehab. All right. Munson in Granville. All right. What's going on with this one, Sean?
So I talked to the owner is a out of state owner. And I think the property is vacant. He said that he's not sure because he had a friend living there, but doesn't know whether they left or not. So he said he'd get back to me on that. So we talked, kind of through, um, what, kind of in the area. So I did your little trick with looking at properties listed and how many of them are under contract. So when I make a, kind of a circle around, that in town Granville area, um, there are like 9 in my little circle for sale, and of those 9, 5 are under contract or contingent. So it meets your 30% rule for sure, if my circle, works well.
Mhm.
But what's tough is when I look in my little circle. So like I don't, I mean, I cross over Broadway. I make a pretty good little circle because it includes the college and it goes up to Newburgh Street and over to the east. It goes to Pearl Street, right? And but the houses that I find don't cross over Broadway anyway. So I include it in my little circle, but none of the activity, kind of translates. The challenge that I'm finding with this one is that all of the things that are for sale and a lot of the things that have sold, everything that's sold recently is much, much bigger. It's tiny. So I'm trying to figure out how to adjust my comps to find something that is a comparable size.
Hmm.
So the only thing that I find that's comparable is if I go back more than 12 months. And I don't
Yeah,
know if I'm allowed to do that.
you are. That's what an appraisal is going to do. If it's hard to comp that
So,
back 12, sometimes a year and a half, that's not ideal because it's not what's
right.
going on in the last 6 months. And so in that case, um, you're gonna always you want to be the best house in the cheapest price in this market.
Right. Right.
Can you do that? I always look at what's available. You got these things that are on the market for 84 days, 307 days, 100. This is land. You got this one 4.6 million. I mean, it's going to take you a while to find a buyer for that. But that's 189 days. This is a weird.
There's one on
I,
Maple
let me see.
that's sold square feet, similar 768.
Yeah.
No, sorry, 736.
So
332
that's
is Maple.
right. The only thing about that on Maple is look at when it sold. 736, it sold, I want to say in
Oh,
2022.
2022, yeah.
Different market back then. You guys went
Right.
back 12 months and beyond, 24?
When I limit it to 12 months, I don't find any that are this size that sold in the last 12 months. The only thing that I find that's anywhere close is 2 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom houses that have sold in the last 12 months. And they're up north of Broadway there.
Look
That
at
is a
this
little
one.
bit different if you drive up closer to the college there. Those houses are,
They look very different.
yeah.
Look at this one, little 3-1, 339. Right here though, across the street from Maine. I don't know if this is better pocket or not. I did see this, which was like this is industrial looking,
Right,
whatever.
right. That's another thing. Is it's yeah,
Mhm.
it's right across from some weird lumber yard.
Yeah, and so that affects it, man. Like there's because what's available out there isn't that view. Um, where are they at with asking on this one, Sean?
So he said he wants 180. I told him that I couldn't do that. He said, and he was really receptive to, okay, I get if you can't do that, but what can you do?
Can you do a novation on this? And
That's
Um,
it.
no,
That was actually one of my questions is I don't think it's it's certainly not MLS ready.
how bad
It
is
doesn't
it?
matter.
What's that, Daniela?
I don't think that matters because you can list it as is.
Still listed. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
the
Yeah.
whole thing about novations is it doesn't have to be the prettiest house. We've sold some, in fact, we have got some ugly houses that we're selling on the MLS.
So
That
you
doesn't,
can sell it as a
yeah.
flip on the MLS.
You can sell it as a as is fixer upper on the MLS,
As is fixer upper. Okay.
right? And if you want
Handyman special.
the actual like how to talk to a seller like that, David's the king, and he's been talking to sellers all day,
Yeah.
and
And
he's
lately we're getting a lot of leads that need to be novated. He's just
Oh,
so good at having those conversations with them.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the thought of novation. For some reason, I always think that novation means I have to fix it before I can list it.
Yeah.
uh,
So just get it at a right price that then you could bump it a little bit and put it on the MLS as long as I get the right contract and his power of attorney thing, right?
Yeah, you want to focus on offers that include the language as is.
As is.
They're not requesting any remedy at some point. Because that way, even if you don't bump it up in price a lot, you can still have your spread there and have it
Right,
hold,
right,
not having to make any concessions for remedy.
right.
and I mean
I
at a low price point like that, under 300, there's nothing available. You don't have any
Um,
competition out there. This is your competition, which is not even anywhere near what you have.
mhm.
This is like a Victorian home. Yours is doesn't look like this.
No, nowhere near that.
Yeah, any pictures
I
on the
think
inside?
maybe for ARB, you'd have to use that technique of price
Square
per square. Yeah.
Right, right. Per square foot, right,
Yeah.
right. And adjust for the larger down to the smaller.
Mhm.
If driving by, the area doesn't feel as, bad as it should. It feels nicer driving by than it shows on Zillow. But all of
Yeah.
that area has that kind of, I don't know. It's quaint. It's not too far from that main Broadway strip of downtown.
Mhm.
See, maybe even a buyer might be something like this, someone that wants to turn this into an office and then that backyard into a park.
Uh,
You know,
yeah.
that's it, because everything else is like, you know, that's a nice kind of house on a hill. But everything else is like in the subdivision here. Now you're talking about nice, and this is kind of on the outskirts.
Hmm.
So, 189, huh?
180.
Oh, what did they come up? How did they come up with that?
He said that there was a house that he found that was a 1-1 that sold for 155, and he wants more than that. I said,
All
yeah,
right.
he has I said I can't argue with
Hey,
your logic,
specific.
but I don't think we can do that price.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think at that price, he might be asking retail.
Yeah, I know.
That I had that conversation. I said that if something sold and it was retail, if it was nice and already fixed up for the 155, then that tells you that there's a difference between yours that needs to be fixed up and it selling for 155 already fixed up. And
Yeah.
he said that he was open to, hearing what I had to offer. And I
Okay.
said I would go to my underwriters.
Any idea? Did they share pictures at all? Is someone living in here?
He said that he's not sure whether his buddy that lived there, and again, he didn't have like a lease or anything like that. He just had a buddy that stayed for a while, and he's not sure whether he's gone or not. And I asked for inside pictures, and he said that he could reach out to his buddy and double check whether he's still there or not, and potentially get interior pictures, but he doesn't have any.
Okay. Okay. I, you know, I'm thinking this is like the 180 is like a retail price.
Right.
And so that essentially could be like your ARV, and then you got to back out. This is an area that things are happening, I'm assuming, because Granville is a pretty happening spot.
Right.
Let's check real quick. Um, Yeah. So with the right price, you would be the lowest price house in that area, even though it's a little
Right.
funky area. And now it just depends on what the interior looks like. But I would do our innovation formula. So we need to find an as-is price on this. And if it's 180s, like we're thinking the ARV, what are you thinking on this one, Daniela? 180s?
When I'm trying to do an as-is price for something that's going on market, I still use our 70% all-in formula. As if it was a wholesale deal. The only difference is we're using the MLS to market it.
Mhm.
Like if it's 180, 70% of that is 126. So that's where someone would need to be all in. So it
Yeah.
really depends on condition, because then you have to subtract your rehab out of those 126, include your fee, and listing documents, pictures, all your expenses to put it on market, which is usually around 500.
Yeah. If we use the brokerless and then
Yeah.
professional pictures.
And then
So if we work backwards from 180, we get to the 126. And if we were to even just say $40,000 rehab, and I would have to qualify that, but even if we just say 40,000 rehab, we're at 86,000. That 86,000 would be what I would try and
So
put it on the MLS for.
I would offer that as cash, Sean, first.
That's cash game. Okay.
Okay. And then if so again, another question would be like, do you owe anything on the house? You maybe
He
already
says he
asked.
does.
He does.
He
So
does.
it's free and clear. So everything is going to be profit for him. It's
Right.
free and clear. So another option would be, so that's the cash price, and then go up a little bit on novation, but not too much.
Mhm.
And let them, just say, well, I can go back and we can do this, but I got to work with end buyers that are, using bank loans, but I have a team of agents and stuff like that. So go through that module, or if you want, show up to the, Monday underwriting call. If you need help outside of that, I'm sure we have some recordings that we can show you how Dave's pitching that to help you with that pitch. Have you ever pitched a Novation before?
Not well.
Okay.
Yeah,
It,
no,
uh,
they always just make me feel like I have to do a bunch of work, and so I, scramble to figure out how much work I have to do and calculate for that, right? Um, I have watched the modules, but I was looking for anything that is recent Dave calls, and I couldn't find
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, so his calls, and I'll get with him. They're all recorded, and then
Right,
we putting them all on social media. But the raw file we have, and we're things just don't happen immediately. But we got to get it organized and putting them in Skool, so you can have
right,
all the files because they're all done on Zoom. But basically, what you want to do is get this sucker on. You want to be right now as it stands, there's nothing available that I can see on Zillow. The only thing that at this price point, let's just say we, can put it out there for, I don't know, 150. Okay. As is of
right,
150, just guessing here.
right.
Is there anything available for 150 in that little pocket? I'm not
Not even
seeing
close.
it. Okay. He saw something that was a 1-1. I don't even know when that was because I think we were looking. Did he give you the address?
No, no.
Okay. It might have been something that he was tinkering around and
Right,
found might be false, right? So now what we want to do is, you know, we had to inspect this place to see if, in fact, we can even get a 150 price.
right,
It- we don't know. He hasn't been there. You haven't got any pictures. So that really helps when we're kind of underwriting some deals here. You can get some pictures. That gives us a good understanding of like, all right, what are we going to do with this thing? So just also to, speaking to the group here, if you can get some pictures or at least an understanding of what rehab is going to be, that helps a ton. Because that is going to be your biggest obstacle. One of the obstacles that we face is location, and this one is not ideal. But at that price point, someone was going to be like, well, I'm getting a really good deal. and the rehab isn't so big that I can probably do it myself. So I'm
Right.
gonna get a conventional loan, rehab loan, whatever, and I'll, do this house because it's the cheapest house. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to have you think of yourself as the buyer trying to buy this. Why would I buy
Right.
it? Well, the only thing it's you're getting a good deal. You're getting it in
Right.
Granville because
Right.
everything else is overpriced and not in my price range. So you're
Right.
probably dealing with like first time home buyer, and there's a
Right.
lot out there with a garage, So you got a garage there, so I'm decent backyard hill thing back here. Can't really see it. Let me see. Yeah, you got a little bit of a backyard. Um, but I think I mean also too at that low of a price point, if you get it for like 80 something, you might find a flipper that will buy it or a buy and hold person to buy it. Or if you want to
Mhm.
buy it, probably put yourself in a good position here, depending on the rehab, you
So
know.
that's our,
Yeah. Do you have are you not in buy and hold mode right now or
all of
no?
my money's tied up in a bunch of madness. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna flip this thing. So you could even at that 86 or 80 price point, man, you could flip it to flipper or buy and hold person. So you've got a lot of options here. Now, if he fights you on that and wants a little bit more, well, what's a little bit more?
Right.
Then
Right.
it's like,
I,
well, I can probably get you that, but I got to do it this way.
right.
To work with them and buyers that I've got, but this, document allows me to have these conversations with them. That's kind of
Right.
like how Dave explains it. It's like a permission
Right.
slip to market the property.
Right. Right. Awesome. No, that gives me a good place
The next
to
move is,
start the
yeah,
conversation.
have another conversation with them. Let them know kind of the ballpark of where the underwriting department came in at. It's that, and that's cash. Would you entertain somewhere in the 80s for
Right.
cash? Telling me to give me a range. Give me anywhere from 80 to 85. I'm gonna make
Right.
sure you get the most for this. Like, could you work with that? And then let them say yes or no. If they say yes, get in contract immediately.
Right.
And if they say no, okay, well, what were you thinking? So that I can go back to them and, try and work out a deal here.
Right. Right. Awesome. Thank you.
I like this area though. I think you might have something here. The only thing that's hurting you would be that across the street. All
Yeah, I
right.
couldn't think of a good a way to highlight that as a plus. You can get your building materials easily.
All right, Mr. Kyle, did you do the setting the stage? Did you get to, where are you at with this one in Buffalo, Ohio? I didn't know there was a Buffalo, Ohio.
Yeah, I didn't either. Coincidentally, it's down there near Senecaville where I've got that other property.
Okay.
But this came in off of property leads a couple weeks ago. Actually, talked with a guy. He inherited the house from his parents who passed away. He lives down in Myrtle Beach. Is established down there. He actually sold it on a land contract to a guy who eventually just kind of abandoned, left the place, quit making payments. So basically, he stepped back in. Doesn't want the property. I think there's like 22 or 23 left on the mortgage, and a couple grand back in back taxes. Um, there's not as much issue with this. Not much going on down there. It's hard to comp. Not a lot of activity. House is pretty much trashed. I think it's on a either slab or a crawl space or something like that. But well, I just can't. I'm on my way back from walking through it.
Oh,
I got
really?
some pictures of it, and uneven floors. Like the staircase is like slanted, tilted. It looks like asbestos type siding on there. So if there's any type of demolition that would need to happen, you're talking mucho dollars for asbestos abatement. Um, so he doesn't want anything. He just wants to be rid of it. So I can get this thing for, roughly around 25 to 27,000 all in.
Yeah.
I don't want it. My question is another flipper going to even bite on this? There's a little garage kind of detached. I would call it more of a shed. Roof, the roof's completely trashed on both the house and that thing. There's an above ground pool needs tore out. I just, with the lack of activity, I mean, I'm not afraid to lock it up in contract, but and that's the other thing. Like when I first talked to him on property leads, he was already on contract with another investment company.
Mm.
They tried to get it for 12,000, and he's just like, I don't want to bring any money to closing. So he's like, I just backed out, had them cancel the contract. They canceled it. So I'm assuming they've probably ran it by some buyers already. So my question is it worth my time to put it on contract and try the same thing, or is there a possibility that, they left some stone untouched, and even if I get it for 25 and can sell it to a flipper for 30, a couple grand's better than no grand. But I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, man. All right. I got some good news and some bad news.
Okay.
What do you got?
Is this about the pilot and like the time flies and all
Oh,
that stuff,
man.
or is...
No, listen, dude, there's nothing going on in Buffalo, Ohio. I'm sorry, man.
Yep. Yep, I know. Nothing.
I wish there was, because
Yeah.
Seneca, oh, they got the lake there.
Yep. Yep.
There's
It's probably
nothing.
about 10 minutes from the boat ramp. But yeah, and the little pocket of neighborhood is just kind of ran down. Nothing going on there. So, but you said you had good news?
But investor base has got some buyers. That's the good news.
Yeah.
Bad
Are
news is there's
those are
748 people that
landlords?
live there. The
Yeah,
good
those are
news,
landlords, right?
oh, they're all landlords. Let me see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all landlords, man. But it's okay. You can talk to who's this guy? You can talk to Shelton Morrow. He seems to be pretty active there. The last thing he did was in December. He's got 8 properties over there.
Yeah.
Trista, she's got a bunch over there. And I say that I'm just telling you your options there. If you wanted to buy and hold, if you wanted to, my strategy in these faraway areas is what we did before, which is like we're actually going to be bringing this back, and it's called the agreement for deed or land contract. I'd be doing that here all day, where I could buy it for real cheap, arbitrage it with some private money, and find somebody on Facebook Marketplace that really loves Buffalo, Ohio, and you become the bank and they pay you off. But this is what's going on. If and they're buying some really small things over here.
Yeah. So
There's,
I talked to the guy. He is open to subject to type agreement where basically just take over the monthly payments. So,
what
which
are the
I
monthly
would be,
payments?
he's supposed to be sending that to me today. Um, so I mean, if it's a few $100, someone may just want to pay that while they do some quick rehab,
Yeah.
polish it up just enough to get a renter in there possibly. 'Cause I think, I mean, that is kind of oil and gas country, so I think some pipeline workers may rent the place possibly. I don't know.
How were the neighbors?
Nobody was out and about. Like I said, it's kind of I don't
Okay.
know, kind of a meh area. Probably C
Because
minus,
that's
D
that's
plus.
that's the only thing that we ran into that gave us some trouble recently on a deal that it was rural, was we had
Yeah.
buyers out there and they all came from Facebook. Some of them came from another channel, Daniela. You remember that one?
Yeah,
Um,
Brown Road,
yeah, it just
the one with the eyesore neighbors.
yeah, it's like the neighbors really did us in on the deal, and we just were like, look, he ended up selling it to a brother, probably found his own buyer. We helped him. Glad that we did, if it was, but it just so hard to sell when you got neighbors that just trashed the place, and no one wants to live next to that, right? Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but if it looked okay, the only thing that would hold anybody back would be the rehab needing to be so much, like it's
Yeah.
not.
And I got pictures of the inside. There's a lot that needs to be done just to even
Is
make it
it?
livable.
Oh, it's not livable at the moment?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
To some people, yeah, but
Yeah.
95% of people, no, it needs to be cleaned out. Um, yeah, some bathroom work stuff done. I mean, it's
Okay.
pretty rough shape inside.
I think you've got some options here that, we can help you with, especially if you're taking it subject to. Um, and you can really help this guy with that creative strategy, which we can help you because we've got the paperwork to do this. If that's the route you want to take, and you can set this up to find a buyer that's more handyman-like and um, willing to put in the sweat equity and on all this, and then maybe the only thing that you do is just help them clean it out, you know. But
Yeah,
there's so little activity here in the market. Like I'm just looking, I had to go back. The only thing that sold was for something like 6 grand. And I don't even,
yep,
so
Yeah,
that's,
and then you have to go back 24 months in
yeah.
order to do other ones. And I just
yep.
googled Buffalo. There's like 300 people living there.
Oh
Oh
man.
yes, Ty Dinky.
Yeah.
I think what all they got going for them is a Duke and Duchess BP gas station. That's all there. Maybe a pizza shop, but that's it. But it's close to Seneca. I mean, but again, it's pretty not much going on there.
Yeah.
I saw this one sold for 85,000, and this was back in 2023.
Right. Yeah.
So what would a subject to type wholesale look like? Like if I say I talk to him, let's just ballpark and say the payments are $400 a month.
Mhm.
You know, how do you even market that to just say, hey, I've got for 5 grand, you can take over this contract, subject to contract, fix it up yourself, and then either rent it or live it in. I mean, what do you
You're
do
on the
to?
you're on the right track. If this is my deal, I'd work it out to where I can pay this guy in some payments and have him basically, do a seller finance type deal if he's even willing to do that. Uh,
Mhm.
and then you arbitrage it by finding someone that can do what we call the rent to own as is play. And then you put this on Facebook Marketplace for like 40,000, you know, and I would put into verbiage, hey, we're looking for somebody that's handy that can do the sweat equity work that's required on this property, willing to work out um, some in-house financing, and then you field the calls. And then it's like someone's gonna be like, well, what's the house need? Well, you're gonna need to do this, this, and that. Can you do that? Because I don't want to set anybody in this house that's not gonna be successful. That's not what the program's for.
Yeah.
Like, what I can do, you're gonna find somebody, well, I can do some of the things. What's it need that's like super complicated? And then because the rehab world, you can just tell them like, look, this is what you need, da 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 da. Like, can you do that? Because it's gonna need that. But I'm willing to work the payment out with you to where it's you can still put money into the house. And let's just say your payments to your guy is 200, and you're collecting. You say, I want 700 or 800 a month from you. So you make the little bit of cash flow, and then you take a down payment of 5, 6, 7, or 8, 10,000, and that's how I would do that. And so
Okay. So it
now,
all starts with finding out what that monthly mortgage is, basically, with that guy, because he doesn't want any
every
money. He just wants done with it. He doesn't want to make a penny on this.
everything it's all required on that. Like you got to find that out first. And if you can find that out today, get that, put it in our chats, and we can walk you through this process.
Okay. And again, he
That's if
wanted to
that's
he
if you
wanted to
want
link
to
me.
that's if you want to do this in Buffalo, Ohio. So if you're willing to do
Yeah.
this, it sounds like you're going to probably be doing the management, probably.
Yeah.
Are you doing
Yeah. I
management?
think I may
Yeah.
have to. I don't know what any companies down there.
Um,
I mean, if
we
I
can
could be done with it some way, somehow, just quick. But I don't know that there is a way to do that, is there?
there is a way. You got to talk to some of these
Just
landlords
talk to
that
those fees.
yeah, that are let's see, the purchase date. Yeah, this is the latest and greatest over here. Someone was buying in Buffalo back in December, Shelton Morrow, you know.
Hmm.
Do you have investor base?
I did. I cut my marketing budget and all the tools budget down. Just things were getting tight.
Okay.
So I don't have it anymore. But yeah, it is a helpful tool for sure.
Here, just can you screenshot with your phone? Here you go. Contact
Got it.
Shell.
Yep. Okay.
Contact Trista. Screenshot that.
Got it.
Let's see. There's Trista. I don't know who this is. Eastern Ohio Investments of Delaware LLC. Sounds super fancy. They got 65 properties though.
Yeah.
But they bought this one. See if there was an agent involved. No, they bought this. I think this was off market.
Mm.
You have to do some skip tracing. But
Okay.
this is one here, and this is just straight off of Zillow. Well, it came from Investor Base, and then I clicked on the Zillow link.
Hmm.
This one on 11984 Kenyon. That's another one. Let's see. Okay, here's another one. Screenshot this. This is Frederick. He's buying in Senecaville.
Okay.
Right. So just call them and have some conversations with them about, are they looking to buy? Here's Merle. Go ahead. Merle. Merle?
Merle.
Merle Beachy.
Merle Beachy. Cool name. Cool name. All right. So call them.
Okay.
Get a feel for them and then go back to this guy and see, because you want to help. This is just a creative way to help them in
Yeah.
low population Ohio. Where you can find buyers is going to be in Facebook Marketplace. I'm telling you, this is
Okay.
just a little thing that we've stumbled upon. Facebook Marketplace in low population Ohio works the best.
Okay.
If you're
Just
in,
put it out there looking for a
Mhm.
either a buyer or a rent to own type tenant or with a handyman background and knows what they're doing.
Yeah, Kyle, you follow me on Insta, right? Or on Facebook, right? You should be
Hmm.
able to see some of my listings. Um,
Okay.
but when you get to that point where you're putting it out on Facebook and you need some verbiage help, just reach out, man. Just reach out.
Cool.
But let us know
Cool.
where you're at with this one because I think there's something here. You've got like low population, so you might be able to work something out creative. But
Yeah.
um,
So still worth putting it under contract with them and then just with contingencies, make
yes,
sure, back out as needed.
use the use the new like sales skills. Put them to test. This is where you put it to a test,
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man.
But it's funny, I actually went like the last thing was the live sales call at the very end. Like who's
Hmm.
got volunteers to go up there? I'm like,
That's great.
shoot, let me go up there. Called them. Like, I was the only one to actually lock one up. Yeah, I say lock one up. My phone actually died because I didn't have my charger.
Oh,
So,
man.
but I kind of left their celebrity. So, signing autographs and no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, local celebrity, Kyle, local celebrity.
No. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was good training though. Really good
That's
stuff.
good. Yep. That's great, man. Yeah, this is would be good practice for you. Let's get this one in contract, man, and
Okay.
figure out how we can monetize it.
All right.
All right. Who else? Who's next? Linda, Jenny,
I
Jenny.
do have one. I know it's top of the hour. You guys okay with that still?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
What you got?
Um, I actually have two, but I think I'll just pick this one.
Where are you at with? Where are you in the process of this one in Bell Fountain?
So this is from a wholesaler, and I was gonna do a walkthrough Friday.
Okay.
It is I have pictures. I'll copy this link in a second and send it in the chat. So it's a 5.2, 2,700 square feet. They're asking 139 for it. It's a duplex. It looks like they're, which wasn't clear to me until I looked into it a little more, but I guess they're one unit's a 2-1 and the other one is a 3-1.5. The pictures, it looks like there's a decent amount of rehab on this one because There's been a little bit of water damage. The ceilings, you know, there's some stripping of the ceiling and the walls. He had mentioned there's a little bit of roof shingles that need replaced, which tells me because there's been some water problems, it probably needs a new roof. You know, on and on. So the rehab looks like it's pretty decent. It does have a basement. It's partially finished. And there's in the 2-1 unit, there's actually a walkway to an attic space that's very big, but it's unfinished. So there's a potential there to, you know, finish that. Let's see what else. I looked at the market, just kind of did the usual what's for sale, what's pending and contingent. That was around 29%. So kind of right at that mark.
Yeah, threshold, yeah.
Comping this was a little difficult, so I wrote down, you know, 2 properties that were currently for sale just to kind of see what are things currently selling for. And then I looked and found, you know, 4 or 5 solds. The one that comes the closest to me, you know, all done and finished up was a 5-4, 5-bedroom, 4-bath, 2,800 square foot. It sold for 280 within the last 90 days, I believe.
Yeah,
And the
the
second
one
one,
on East Auburn Avenue. It's got a picture with the fall leaves. Very cute.
the one for 280.
Yeah, 230 East Auburn. If you want to look that up, RJ.
And then there was a triplex for 4.3 that sold for 260. That had 2,800 square feet. And then beyond that, it's looks like, you know, some pretty distressed properties, like a 6-bed 3 sold for 65. Another one sold for 260. So it's kind of all over the board.
Yeah. Look at this one. This is the one.
This is the one. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right. Yep. And then I'm gonna get you the link. Hang on here for the pictures.
5-4.
And they're currently renting this. I need to find out what he's currently renting it for, but when I researched rents, there was only one for rent. And that was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath for $1,250, but it's been sitting out there for 38 days on Zillow. So other than that, I can't find any rents for a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, or 5-bedroom co-living, like nothing.
I found one. There, it's a. Oh, look at that. 2-bedroom baths, 1-bedroom, 1-bath, 984, 2-1, 1,250. 4-2 townhouse. Looks like this one might be a half a duplex.
Duplex, okay.
Might be. Here's an apartment. Could be like a side by side.
Okay, these didn't pop up for me. I wonder if I just had something on my filters wrong.
Um,
But I see all the 28 days ago, 48 days ago, 49. There also is a lot of new construction going on outside of Bell Fountain.
yeah.
So I think there's some of that. But it's down the street from like it's in a good area. It's down the street
Yeah,
from
Bell
medical
Fountain, there's
center.
some revitalization going on in their downtown.
Mhm.
We saw a Novation in that area last year. You remember that
Yeah.
one?
It's pretty sold, without a lot of hiccups.
Mhm.
So one side is a 2-1 and then another side is a 3-1.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So a 3-1, a 2-1, 1,250. This was a day ago. 39 days ago. This one's been sitting. So you're probably around for a 2-1, you're probably around 1,200 a month. And then a 3-1, you might be able to get 1,300, maybe 1,400 a month. Let's see here. Now you're 2,700 a month. You got the pictures in here?
Yeah, pictures are in the link. And then I took a crack at the ARV. I had a little difficulty with this, but I'm anxious to see what you guys think. I had it around 270, somewhere between 265 and 280.
Where were you saying, Daniela? Oh man, you only got one picture in here, Jenny.
Oh, no, there should be.
All
a
right,
whole- Oh, yeah, there should be more. Yeah, yeah.
this don't look too bad.
Well, just keep clicking. It's not awful, but because
Mhm.
I think there's
Oof.
people there were people living, or the owners living in it now. He used to rent it out, and the story was he was, gonna continue to kind of fix all this up. He had a leak in one of the units, and he had just had it. So he's like done with the property.
What happened here, man? A little water damage?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's just say
How much is he asking?
20-ish.
139.
Not too bad. Did he say or did the seller or wholesaler say any of these materials staying?
That's a good question. I didn't ask if the materials are staying. I asked if he was in the middle of a rehab, and that's when they said, well, there was a leak that he was working on that he fixed, supposedly, but
Did the wholesaler provide you with any type of like their own inspection of mechanicals or no? Some of them do.
no.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right. Some of them do. This one did not.
Okay. How many square feet again is this? I'm thinking
2764.
it's good, it's big. So probably a good cosmetic. This looks like a turn, basically. Cosmetic turn, 25-ish. Would be my guesstimate. And then here's the thing. All right, so you've got some attic space.
And it sounds like it's huge. Like he could stand up.
Yeah, this is
Stand up in it and walk
completely
out.
could be. The only thing that would make this weird is if you have to, in order to get to the attic, you have to go through a bedroom,
Mhm.
Yeah, right,
and it doesn't make it ideal.
right.
But if I'm looking at this as an electric panel, that definitely needs to be updated for that big of a house. To be
Yeah.
that small electric panel. Electric panel of this size with all that, probably gonna be around 4 or 5K.
Could it be just a sub panel?
It could be. I don't know. But that's super old. So make sure you're checking it, taking a look at this and making sure it's up to code over there. Could be part of the attic. I don't know.
I thought there was a picture of the electrical boxes down in the basement. I thought maybe that was another property.
No, I think one of the first few pictures does have that.
Yeah, I think there were 2 boxes or something.
Okay, that's good. So it doesn't look too bad exterior wise. Okay. Um, and then from what you were looking at, like you were guesstimating 250?
I had 270, somewhere between 265 and 280, so I kind of settled on 270.
Are you seeing that too, Daniela?
No, I was thinking to 60.
260, okay.
Mhm.
Conservative is the way.
Yeah, no.
95. And I'm thinking it's a cosmetic rehab. The inside, from what I'm seeing on the pictures, doesn't look too bad.
Oh,
Can't see,
really? Okay.
it does not. I mean, it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. I've seen worse, but the roof is going to be a question for me. But
Okay.
I'm not. I mean, I can only see this, and then you've got some what do you call that? Fascia, soffit area there. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Big things are what, foundation, and then your windows look to be updated. It's good. Let me go back to the beginning here. I just want to take a look at the the mechanicals again. That furnace looks just massive. There's the panels
Yep.
and then big furnace. I didn't see the water tanks though, so question on that. What do they need? They need work? Are they there?
Mhm.
Is it well? I mean, I don't know.
Okay. I can ask them.
But based on that, I mean, I'll just put 25. You're in good shape here.
Yeah, I had rehab close to like almost 50, but maybe I'm just way
Um,
overdoing it. I did have windows in my estimate, but maybe if I swap windows for new roof,
Mhm.
So you're putting 50?
I had 50, yeah.
Well, if you did 50, then you're 145 is your max, allowable. And what are they asking?
139,
So you're close.
right? Yeah.
So now if you put 150 though, um, so okay, 145 plus 50, 195. And your plan is and then your rent's at 2,700. I mean, you're in good shape. What what was the taxes on this? Sorry, I got these two screens here. Do you remember?
Um,
You remember?
Let me go back and check. I don't remember taxes on this one.
They got wiggle room on the price?
What's that?
They flexible on the price?
I mean, I don't think so far. I've talked to him a couple times. It doesn't seem like there's a whole bunch of interest because I got to pick, I got to kind of work with him and say, hey, like I would like to come see this as soon as possible. He was going to do next week. I said, could we do this week? And he said, well, maybe Friday. I don't know. It just seemed like usually when there's a lot of demand, it's like the walkthrough is going to be Wednesday at 3. And so he's also, I've never worked with him before.
I would call him on the phone and say, hey, I didn't see any pictures of the hot water tanks.
Yep.
Right now, I think it can work. I just need to know what condition they're in. And then the panels were off on the electric. Is there something going on with the electric? The roof, it's got snow on the roof. Do you know if there's any active leaks?
I did ask him that, and he said there is a quote unquote slight leak in one area, which is where he was having some water problems.
All right, so you need a roof.
Yeah, I think we need your.
All right, so yeah, so then last question is those other mechanicals, because you're not too far apart. If we're doing all in 195 and it's renting for 2,700 a month, I think there's probably a deal here. Okay. So can you ask him those questions and then reply back in our chat and see if we can get this one pushed through? Are you using lending or who are you using for the funding?
Well, I want to use a private lender. So that's my first choice, but my second choice is I'm pre-approved with both and LFG. So
Okay.
my first try will be private, second, third will be those two lenders.
I think you got something here.
I know. Okay, good.
Let's do a deal.
I know.
All right.
Yes. Will do. Keep you posted. Thank you.
But comps, we finished comps. Can you verify that this is the latest, greatest purchase contract? Yes. Let me see here. Yes, it is. Good to go, Andy?
Yep.
All right. All right. We're all captains and we're flying the ship. I can't say it as eloquently as Dave, but It was nice spending time with y'all. Have a good afternoon. Let's get some sales in. Let's get some offers in. Let's get some buy and holds and flips. Natalia, thanks for listening. If you need any support or anything like that, let me know. If you have an address, it's already 3:16. We got to go. But if you need help with underwriting, put the address in our chat, and I can help take a quick look. Make sure you got some pictures. Ladies and gents, thank you for your time. Andy, you got anything else, Andy? You good?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right. We'll see you all on Friday.
See you, RJ.
Bye, guys.
You know.